Now on this graph, which now we're graphing, we do need the vertex. In fact, on the assignment, you're going to need only 2 points to graph. You're going to need a vertex, and then any other point will do. How you find that point is completely up to you, but you get to decide, okay? So for this one, I'm going to limit the number of methods that I'm going to show how to find other points, but the vertex is shown already because this has the vertex format for our parabolas, for the quadratics, which is, okay, so again, it's in vertex format. That's it's helpful because now I can tell where my vertex is. And the h, see how it's a plus 3, but it should be minus, right? Which means it's really minus -3. So my x value for my vertex is -3. And then whatever this is, just this number right here with the k, just whatever operation is to its left is its sign. So this one is -5. So we end up with -3, -5, which on my graph is right here. And that's my vertex. Now, before I label that, I can see the a value is positive, so I'm expecting this to open upwards, something like this, okay? Something like it. I don't know that it will, but I know now that I can label this -3, -5. I say that because I didn't want to put it right here where it's going to be in the way of the graph. So I know it's going to open upwards, but again, on the assignment, all I need is one other point. And yeah, we know that the axis of symmetry would be x equals -3. Let me see if I can put that in here. There we go. The orange right there is my axis of symmetry, which means, again, all the points that I put on the graph are just going to reflect over that line. They're going to mirror over that line. I like mirroring there. But what I need then is some kind of values to put in to my graph. And what I said before is you only have to go one way, and that's usually what students do, and then they just reflect them. So it doesn't matter if you go to the right or to the left. Any values that I get on either the left or right, I can just reflect back, which I will show you here in a second. What I know is that I can't use -3 for my x because we already know its corresponding y value. We already have that ordered pair. If you were to put -3 into the equation, the original up here, then you would get a y value that's -5. Okay, so again, that's an ordered pair. That's what a table is going to give us. But we need other ordered pairs. So it doesn't matter which way. I'm going to go to the right, by the way. So I'm going to make x -2. Now, you can say, well, we're going to use the equation right here, right? So y equals 2 parentheses x plus 3 squared minus 5, and then you replace the x with -2. I'm really just putting this in the calculator, you guys. So to -3, right? So I get -3 right there. Now on the assignment, that's enough, right? So I got -2, -3, which would be right here. Okay, so that's at -2, -3. But since I'm doing this by hand and I'm enjoying myself probably more than I should, I'm going to put more. And I know you want it too. So I'm just going to go up 1. So I'm going to make this -1. And instead of showing the work here, just because hopefully we're used to this by now, I'm just going to put it in the calculator, okay? So I'm just using the storage function of the calculator so I don't have to type in 2 parentheses x plus 3 parentheses squared minus 5 all the time. But I got a +3 on that, yeah, 3. So again, that's an ordered pair, -1, 3, which is up here, like this. Now I'm going to go one more. I'm going to make x equals 0, and then I see what I get. So 0 store for x. I just go up here and copy this in. Yeah, it's 13. Now 13 is not on my graph. I know that it's somewhere in this range, but that gives me a good view of what's happening with my equation here. So remember what I said. I'm only doing half of the graph because if I'm doing this by hand, I can just reflect these points. So from my axis of symmetry right there, this purple point is 1 to the right, so its mirroring would be 1 to the left. It would be this point right here at -4, -3. Now this also means that if you were to replace the x up here with -4, you would get a corresponding y value that's -3. And then this next one as well, that's 2 to the right, so I go 2 to the left, and that's my next point right there, which appears to be at -5, 3. Okay, and I guess I don't really need that other one. All right. Now I must graph this. Apologies in advance. Oh yeah, that was, in my mind, that was so perfect. So I would accept something like this on an exam, which other math nerds wouldn't like, by the way, so don't tell anyone. But here's what we don't want to see. Let's see if I can, something that looks like, it's like, look, we don't want you to drink before class or during class, because but if you, yeah, like maybe you're on medication or something like that. Okay, just yeah, please. I mean, look, if this one's pretty bad right there, right? Most students like, Sal, how can you suck at drawing parabolas that bad? I did my best, okay? If it was on paper, by the way, and I know you haven't seen it, but I feel a lot better about my drawings. This is just because it's on an iPad. It's jacked up. Yeah. I know, right? So, in any case, I don't want to see any garbage like this ever, because this is like, hey, Sal, watch what I'm going to do. And it's like you're just testing me, which I really don't mind so much, but other math nerds do. So let's get rid of that garbage. There we go. Okay. So here's another thing that sometimes I'll do is I just kind of do it one point at a time, right? So I just kind of connect these. I just go up here like this. Again, that's okay. And if you want to be really thorough, you just put some arrows on the end there, and that's pretty.
Have the arrows on it?
Yeah, the pattern does continue, so you should put arrows there. Now, again, on the assignment, if you start with the vertex, you put this point on there. I have 4 other points to choose from this graph. As long as you put one of those other points on there, the assignment will graph the rest for you. But when doing it by hand, you're going to have to, well, do it by hand, so you need more than 2 points.